Welcome AIS artists. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Claude Monet. Throughout this art project, we'll be watching a few other videos while you're working that I think you'll find quite interesting. The National Gallery of Art has put on a couple really kid-friendly, draws you into the artwork type of drawings, paintings that they have. And so I'm going to be borrowing some of their videos to share with you. But today we have learned a little bit about Claude Monet, or you did yesterday, and today you're going to be working on your mixed media artwork. Mixed media means we're going to be working with more than one medium. We're going to be working with watercolor and oil pastels. So I hope that you enjoy working with both of those and that we're going to be combining them, so therefore mixed medium, because we're mixing them two together. The background behind me is a video of Claude Monet's inspiration. He had a huge house. I've actually been there, and the gardens are just impressive. And he created this huge pond with water lilies and a Japanese bridge. He was very influenced by Japanese art. So he's got this bridge that we see here in Okinawa. I'm sure, or I hope you have seen some of the gorgeous red bridges or turquoise bridges across to some walkways, and usually below them is some water. So we're going to be inspired by Monet and his inspiration to do water and the bridge. We're also going to try and make I'm going to try and make a connection with you guys for Earth Day, because Earth Day is coming up, or it just passed, depending on when you're getting this video. And it's just really nice to make a connection and have an appreciation for the earth, whether it's the air that we breathe, recycling to keep our earth happy and healthy, or the environment, the nature, the animals that we see and come upon. So we're going to try and make a couple connections with this artwork. So everybody should have a watercolor sheet of paper on their table, and I need 3 things on it before we get started. I need your name. I need where you're seated at so that I can return it to you. And I need your teacher's name. In case it gets mixed up on the drawing rack, I need to know whose class you belong to, okay? Put those 3 things on your paper. A lot of times students say, well, what side's the back? It's a blank sheet of paper. So the side you put your name on is the back. So put your name on it. Make sure those 3 things are on it. We'll stop for a moment so that you can grab a pencil. Usually a pencil works great. A marker, Sharpie kind of bleeds through watercolor paper, so some of it, so I wouldn't use a Sharpie. If you don't have a pencil, I have some to borrow. Once your name is on it, you are ready to create. So your first decision in your creating and your composition is to decide, do you want a vertical composition, meaning up and down, or a horizontal composition? So a piece that I did is a vertical composition. And to create the bridge, I think a vertical composition works well. However, you certainly can do a horizontal one. It's a pretty long sheet of paper, so that means your bridge will be really long, or you'll have some, the banks of the pond or the river will show on either side to shorten your bridge. I am going to go more with this design. So decide first on how you want to orientate your composition, and then with a pencil you're going to lay down the bridge. Okay, so I'm going to tilt my camera down. I hopefully will have some handouts that show you some bridge designs, but it's not really too hard to create. Okay, so bridges are kind of an arc. They don't have to be perfect. I bet if we measured out Claude Monet's bridge, we wouldn't find that it was exactly perfect, okay? So tilting you down, you're gonna decide where on your paper that you want your bridge. On this piece, it was not exactly in the middle, okay? So I had more of the water beneath my bridge than sky. So you're going to decide, do you want more sky or do you want more water? And so I guess what I'll first do is create my horizon line. I think I'm going to lay down my horizon line. I'm just going to draw it straight across. I just do very lightly my horizon line. You probably can't see it, so I will go darker. I don't want you guys to go that dark because it's hard to cover up pencil. And then I'm going to make my bridge so that I can see the horizon line through my bridge. So I am going to just do a curved line below. This is the bottom of my bridge. So you're going from one side to the other. And then above my horizon line, I'm going to make another curved line. Okay, so you can see my horizon line, and these are my curves to my bridge. So bridges usually have a railing or a division in between. So the next, and it's going to be curved. So I'm going to curve that as well. So now I have 3 curves. And now I'm going to make them a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to run a parallel line, kind of parallel, to each of those. So I'm going to create some depth or some volume in my bridge. Okay, so I'm adding some, it's not just a straight line. Okay, straight lines really don't have any volume. So I'm adding some volume to my bridge. Okay, and next I'm going to put in the railings. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to erase my horizon line that you'll see. But you'll notice that I didn't go straight over the railing. Okay, so I want to make sure that you can see this railing piece, but I will erase this line right here. So I'm going to erase my horizon line, but I don't want it to go through. So you're going to lay down all of your railings. Take your time. If you go really lightly with your pencil, I'm going heavy so you can see it. But if you go lightly with your pencil, you will be able to erase the lines you don't need. So I'm going to erase the horizon line. Okay, so I erased my horizon line, and now I have my bridge. So the next thing to do is think about my composition. What do I want to include? So I'm going to include some lily pads, and I love to include koi. You don't have to, as behind me, as you can see, here, let me tilt my camera up. On the smartboard will be this view here. And so you can't really identify. Claude Monet did impressionistic style. So you can just kind of place where you want your lily pads to go. And they don't have to be that defined. Meaning it doesn't have to look exactly like a lily pad. So I am drawing my lily pads. Okay. Let's see if we can get really close so you can see. And they don't necessarily have to look exactly perfect like lily pads. The fourth graders are using this handout because they are only focusing on lily pads, and I can have this available for you guys so that you can kind of use it as a visual, because I need a visual a lot of times. But one thing that you want to be aware of is as you go further into the background, your lily pads are going to get smaller and smaller. Okay, so we start out a kind of big, and then as you recede back into the background, you're going to get smaller and smaller. What's also nice about this particular piece is you could kind of do a one-point perspective where you draw kind of a V, and I'm doing mine lightly, but you know what? I'll do it dark so you can see. Don't draw this V onto your paper this dark. So I have my one-point perspective going out to my horizon. And as I go further back onto this line, I'm going to get smaller and smaller with my lily pads or my fish. Okay, so as you go away from what's the foreground in front of you, as you go further into the background, your items, whatever's back there, trees, in this case lily pads and fish, are smaller and smaller. So think about the size that you're creating. So we're going to try and work with shapes. We're going to work with size or proportions, space. How are you using the space on your paper? So today is your designing of your Claude Monet and Earth Day inspired Japanese bridge painting. So I can't wait to see how you're going to create. Again, you can either do it vertically or you can do it horizontally. So if you do it horizontally, you might want to make sure that you have, I'm going to do it real quick. And this will be my horizon. If you're going to do it horizontally, you are going to have the whole bridge showing. And this is just a real quick design. So you can kind of see what a horizontal design composition might look like. So this is just a real quick sketch. So this will be the sides of my lily pond, okay, which might be a lot of greenery. There are trees around it. Again, I will have this video going in the background so you can kind of see what it looked like. And also on your tables, I might print out, again, the picture that I'm using as a reference, because as an artist, it's nice to have references that you can refer to if you're not right out there in nature doing it right on the spot. So enjoy creating your Japanese style bridge, painting with water lily features, koi fish. You can add other animals if you want from nature, and I can't wait to see what you all create. So enjoy working with our mixed media piece.